Hello, Messy Hands Summer Art Campers. My name is Michele Mechling, and I'm going to show you a few things about watercolors today. I wanted to show you some of the supplies that you'll need out of your kit. The first thing you'll need is your watercolor set of 8 colors. You'll need all the brushes that you can find in your kit. There might be some flat ones, some round ones, some thin ones, some thicker ones. You'll also need a ruler and a pencil. Make sure you have a few paper towels in front of you because you'll need to dab the paint and water out of your brush from time to time. You'll need a container of water. And also in your kit you should have 4 to 5 thick pieces of watercolor paper. And with this paper you can use a whole sheet, or you can fold your paper in half and use half a sheet. Make sure that you have something to put down, like a piece of newspaper or something that will protect the table that you're working on, so you don't have such a large mess at the end, because we're going to want to clean up everything that we have here so it's ready for the next time that we want to paint. So let's get on with a few basic watercolor techniques, and I will be showing you those now. So what I have here is I've taped down my paper and I've divided it into 4 sections. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we're going to experiment with wet on wet, wet on dry, dry brushing, and dry on wet. So you'll want to get your watercolors ready to go by putting a little water on each color. It takes a little time for the color to get saturated so you can use it, but let's start with the wet into wet, and take a brush full of water with your largest brush and gently put down a layer of water into the first square. And you want it to be kind of shiny. You don't want it to be drippy, but get it all wet and even. Okay, with the smaller brush now, you want to get it wet and get a color, any color that you would like to use, and make a mark. Do some dabbing of the color, and you will see how it starts to blur and fade into the water, making a very beautiful pattern. It's random, so you can't control it too much, but see how the paint bleeds into the water and creates interesting patterns. Keep adding a few colors without mixing too much, just to see what they do. This is great for creating backgrounds for your painting, so you can get going with some color right away. It will dry very differently and you'll be surprised. But here we have a nice sample of wet into wet, and don't worry about drips, they happen. Just use your paper towel to clean things up. Now let's go on to the next square, and we're going to do wet into dry. So you can choose any color, but you need to make sure that you have enough water on your color so that it's wet. And now we're painting onto dry. It's very satisfying to paint this way because it's very immediate and direct. You get a lot of what you're putting down is going to dry like that. So keep painting around the square and watch what the paint does. If your paint gets too dry on the color, not enough water, you'll want to add some water so it can recharge. This also is a good way to get nice bright colors too. Here is how it will look dry as well. Let's go on to the next one. We're going to do dry brushing. And here you want to dab the water out of your brushes. Let's try this thick one first. You can use any of your brushes that you like. Okay. Now, take a little paint. I'm going to test it out over here. You can always use your lid as a mixing tray. And you can see here, this is a nice saturated color. I'm going to lightly drag my brush across the paper, and I'm even starting to get a little texture, a brush stroke look, where you can see the lines of the bristles of the brush. I'm going to rinse that out and try another brush to see what it does. And again, you want to make sure your paints are wet enough too. You can change the angle of your paintbrush to try to get a different effect. This is great for drawing onto your painting with the color. Just experiment around with your different brushes. Here's a finer tip brush, and this will give you some really good lines. Give you, depending on how you hold your brush, you can get all kinds of variation in your brush stroke. And that's really excellent for finishing off a painting, adding details. You want to use dry brushing at that point. Now let's try this next section. It's dry on wet. So let's take your larger brush. Might want to rinse it out a little bit, make sure it's clean. Use your paper towel and put down another layer of water, just like we did in the first square. Nice and even, not too drippy. So it's nice and shiny. If you have too much water, just move it around. You can choose any brush that you would like. And let's take some purple again. We're going to make a mark. It does similar to square one where it bleeds, but here I'm actually using more straight color right out of the pan. That one bleeded really nice. I'm going to try some green and dot it around. Let's try some green. So it's really saturated. It stays kind of where you put it, but it also bleeds just a little bit, giving another nice effect. When this dries, it'll look very similar to the way it does now. And those are some watercolor basics. Let's try a few more. I actually prepared another piece of paper, and if you want to do these techniques like this, you'll have to get 2 pieces of paper ready. And tape always helps to tape down your paper. Let's start with another wash. We're going to try a flat wash, and I'm going to use my larger brush again, get it all nice and wet and cleaned out. And I need to make enough paint to fill that whole square. So I might need a little water and a little color, and I'm going to make a little pan of paint in my lid for this exercise. You want to go ahead and just put the color down in broad brush strokes across the paper. You can go the other way as well. Sometimes it'll pool a little, but don't worry. We're going to try to even this out as much as possible. And there is a nice layer of color. You can move your board around to get it to spread more evenly, but it will dry better than you think. So let's go on to the next one and do a fade or a graduated wash. And with this one, I'm going to try a different color this time. I'm going to go with orange, rinse out my brush, and I need to put down a layer of water again. Okay. I'm going to use my medium-sized brush and try that orange out. And quite saturated color on my brush is good for the first brush stroke across the top. You want to lay that color down, and as it moves down the page, let it hold your board so that the water runs from top to bottom, and keep moving the flow of paint to the bottom of the square until it's nice and thin. So you'll see the color gradate from top to bottom. You can move your board around and let the paint flow a little bit, but it's great for creating skies once again, or water. Let's move on to the next square. It's a variegated wash. This is one of my absolute favorites. Again, we're going to wet the square evenly with water. And by now, the colors in your paint box are going to be really strong. So you need to be careful. Just to show you how strong they are, look at this black. I'm going to try it. I have a very loaded brush, and see how it blurs and fans out, but keeping a lot of color where I put it. Watch out for using black. It's very strong, but when you mix colors with black, it turns into a nice darker shade of purple or red, whichever you choose. This is good for a starry night. If you're doing a field of color, abstract painting, the variegated wash will give you all kinds of options. So let's try this last square. We're going to do a blended wash. This is one of my favorites to demonstrate because you get to use lots of color. I'm using my thick brush to lay down wet on dry. I'm going to rinse out that color and dab my brush out, and I'm going to go with orange next. And I want to touch the bottom of that red so it blends together. Let's go with the next color. Let's try yellow now. But each time you want to rinse out your brush a little bit. Touch the bottom of the orange and it starts to blend where the yellow and orange meet. Now green, I'm going to go all through the color box. If it's not blending, it's probably a little too dry. Now those colors are blending where they've met, and you get a nice, interesting blended wash. Got to rinse out your supplies every once in a while. Make sure you get some new water Set things aside to dry, and be sure to clean up after yourself. Now that things have dried, we can see that the wet into wet has created a really nice atmosphere. Let's look at the wet onto dry, and the colors pretty much remain the way we laid them down. You can paint in layers. I'm showing you how that paint underneath is not going to move around once you paint again, wet onto dry. You can add any details that you would like to this background. And I'm just painting a few circles here. What are these? Oh, they look like balloons to me now. So I'm going to take a marker and draw right onto my painting so that I can add a few details. Let's do the bottom of the balloons, and we'll put some strings on them so they kind of look like a balloon bouquet. I could have used a pencil or crayons or other types of markers. Great for adding detail. Now the dry brush, that's for finishing your painting with details, and you can use that at any point. Like here I'm kind of seeing a canoe with fishermen perhaps, and you want to work your details out just a little bit. Maybe that's an oar or a fishing rod or a shadow of a fishing rod. Maybe the green blobs are lily pads. And this is a good time to use your imagination. I'm going to add a little paint to this to make it look like water now. Little blue. Put the boat in the water, put some waves and ripple of water around the lily pads. Again, use your imagination when you're looking. Here we have a flat wash, our graduated wash, looking really great. A lot better than when I put it down. So things always dry differently. The variegated wash, that black is still really strong. And the blended wash, great for a rainbow. Let's move on to video 2.